All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. One more Monday to go in the month of January. Can't believe we're already through the first month of 2023, it looks like. Welcome to today's live stream. We are not on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I am not your host. I am still your host, but I'm not your pilot today. Today I'm your pain. Yeah, I am your pain passenger, also your train passenger. We're gonna take a little ride. I just figured I'd like to you know, um talk with you guys for a bit. And I thought, what's the better way to do this other than just sitting on a plane on a tarmac somewhere and, you know. So, what I decided to do was I figured I would come in here and we're going to take a train ride on Peninsula Corridor here on Train Sim World 3. It's probably not going to be a very exciting thing because I'm not going to be operating the train. I'm just going to be sitting in a passenger seat. So, but I figured this is the way we can have a conversation and all that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spawn on in here. This is Game Pass issues. Oh, whatever. I'm not worried about that. Anyway, and then we're gonna talk because there's been some things that I've heard from other people, things that other people have said over the weekend that have really weighed on me. And so I was going to do this yesterday, but I thought, no, let me just think about it some more because uh, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say something that is going to, um, well, I don't, I just want to, I'm trying to get a message across, I guess. And, uh, yeah, it's very difficult because and I know my message today is probably going to not. It's going to resonate with some people, and it's going to go over the heads of other people, and that's okay. I'm completely aware of that. I'm okay with that, you know. So, but yeah, let's go in here and spawn in. We'll wait for our train to arrive. I did advance the time just a little bit, so it shouldn't take very long for the train to show up, and we'll just get it on our seat and all that. So we're looking for a still 13. This is it. Perfect. We gotta go. I want to go back down this way. Well, that just worked out really good. So basically, for those of you who don't know, this is they're still in service, I think, because they're still electrifying the line, but they're on the Peninsula Corridor, but it's still not all done yet. So these are built in Japan and shipped to America and have been on the Peninsula Corridor for quite some time. So it's a bi-level cab car. Oh man, this time my seat's taken. And so we're gonna ride on this today. If I can find a seat open. It's like this train is full almost. Oh, there might be one upstairs there. I'll keep an eye on the chat so if anybody comes in and says hello. But basically, we're going to talk today about, and it kind of goes with, oh, there we go. I like this one right here, facing this way. About what we talked about last time with about love and bad decisions and stuff like that, right? And so anyway, here I'll go outside and you guys can kind of look at the. So that's the other train system. This is the newer one, although this one isn't running as much. That's the newer cab car, but this is the older one, which I think has much more character. Just looks a heck of a lot cooler, I think. So anyway, so I wanted to talk, and it was something, and I'm not trying to to um, piggyback off of something Scruffy's been talking about. But what I'm going to talk about today applies. It could apply to streaming. It can apply to relationships. It can apply to all kinds of stuff in life. Right? And basically, that is well. I'll tell. Well, once we get going here in a minute, we'll get to the bottom of what I'm trying to say here. So, hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. I know people probably popped in. They're like, I don't like the look at this so far. I know. We're just waiting to see if once our engineer pops into that little control cab there, we'll know we're getting ready to go. But I'm going to start the story on when I was growing up. I've got a younger brother. I'm not going to say, he's a couple years younger than me. I'm not going to get more general than that. I'm not going to get more specific than that. I'm just going to say he's a couple years older than me. And we, growing up, we used to play together, because that's what we do as kids, right? Especially the siblings. Not always, but generally, we have, we 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 have our time together as kids and and all that. Well, there came a time, and I don't remember how old we were or how close what our ages were at the time, but there came a point in life where my brother was not interested in playing, board games or that time as for us as brothers was over. You know, I I don't know when it was, but it happened. And at first I was perplexed because my mom has always told me over the last several years that I cared about my brother and I always looked after him, especially as he was growing, when he was much younger, and you know, he'd always I'd always be kind of worried about him, wanted to make sure he was okay, kind of stuff. And, so it kind of threw me for a loop. But what I learned at that point, even though I didn't know what it was I had to learn to accept his decision, first off. Secondly, I also had to learn that as much as that hurt, that meant, well, I got to be able to do my own thing. Right? Because if I can't, how am I going to get by? So yeah, that gave me an opportunity to uh, to get to read a lot more, to develop me as a person myself. Right, and that's the hard part, is learning to accept yourself. Now, of course, I not everybody would have. I started the hobby. I started building model planes and reading large books about military aircraft and all these other things. And most people just be kind of like, well, that's kind of a weird way to spend your time. Well, for me, that's what worked, right? And as I got older, and this is where it applies to relationships. When you break up with somebody, you have two choices. Technically, you have two choices in how you can handle it. One, you can sit around and go like, woe is me, what happened, I didn't quite see this coming, and oh, the world sucks and all that kind of stuff, right? Or or you can say, well, uh maybe it wasn't meant to be, and I'm just gonna have to pick up the pieces, and I'm gonna go do my own thing. I hope I got on the right one. Did it say 10:13? Yeah. Okay. So I tested this out last night, and I'm hoping so it should still. Okay, it just populated it. All right, there you go. So you and I did learn that right away. I would sit there and be sullen and just like, oh my goodness, I don't get it. I don't why. I really liked her, but hey, you have to be able to say, well, we tried. It wasn't meant to be. So be it. You and that's the hard part. I guess what you know, it's difficult when we don't have that what I some people say loving of their self, right? We're notorious as we're notorious as people in general. We are our own worst critics. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. I don't like this. I don't like that. You know, like I didn't, like when I got positive feedback after a couple of attempts at, when I did the radio production class, I thought the first time somebody said something positive, they're like, "Oh, I like your voice. It sounds good. I like your show." And I'm just like, "Yeah, whatever. You're just pulling my leg because you're just trying to make me feel good about myself." No, they're like, no, 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 seriously. And I'm just like, I don't think I have a voice for this. We're our own worst critics, and we hear or think of things so negatively, right, that um, we can't hear anything positive from other people. We become so um, we cling to the notion that we have to have other people to make us happy when we're so miserable ourselves. How one of the lessons I learned in life was, if you're not happy with yourself, how can you expect to be in a relationship? If you don't love yourself enough, how can you expect somebody else to love you? Right? That's the tricky part. You know, it really is. I watched a movie the other day, and I've seen it a couple times, called "The Best Years of Our Lives," and it's this movie that came out a couple years after the end of World War II. And it's these three guys. One was an Army Air Corps officer. One was a sergeant in the infantry, and the other guy was a Navy guy who had lost both of his hands. Right, and so they all meet up on their way back home. They didn't realize they all kind of lived near each other. I think in Cleveland or something like that. And so it's basically how all three of them deal with being back home after the war was over. And the one guy who was a Army Air Corps officer, I think he was a bombardier in a B-17 or something like that, right? He was married, but his wife, she's mad because he's not home making a ton of money. She burns through all of his savings. And he comes home and she's got some other dude in the apartment. and so she said, "Well, I'm going out with him." And so he said, "You know what? That's fine. I'm gone." Because he'd gotten fired at his job at the drugstore where he used to work at, or before the war. But he went back there to work, and it wasn't the most glamorous job. But he's like, it's a job. But he got fired because he defended the guy with the claws on his hands. He somebody was giving him a bunch of grief, and so he punched the guy out. And so he's like, "You know what? Don't even say it. I know I'm fired. Here you go. Here's my stuff. I'll get my things out of my locker or whatever, and I'll leave." But he in his attempt to leave home, he finds another job working in like an aircraft boneyard, helping them pull apart aircraft from World War II and for salvage or whatever, right? So, you know, I don't know why I'm trying to say all this. I it it it's truly heartbreaking that people they they so don't like themselves to the point that they're desperate for others to make up for that shortcoming of not loving themselves enough. Right? And you could hear it's there's a sound of desperation. There, or not a sound, a sense of desperation, I guess. That and it, but it what and it kind of goes with what do you call it? People become addicts, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever, right? They're looking for that temporary fix, right? They're just looking for that temporary happiness to get them through, and so they when so when like I'll use a good example, right? At first I was very, very much against doing the multiplayer flying thing. I like to fly on my own. You know, I was very much against it because I'm just like, hey, there's a lot of other streamers out there that, and that's another good point we'll kind of tie into here. So a lot of the streamers they have multiplayer on, right? Well, that's their choice. That's their stream. Right? That's what they want to do. Why is it that when people come in and say, well, but I thought everybody did. No, that's not. You can't make that an unfair expectation of other people. Just because Scruffy, for instance, does it, or Captain Arash does it, or anybody else, right? Why should anybody come in and expect me to do this? That's their channel. Right? That's how they do their thing. I may not do that because I just prefer to come in, spawn in, do my thing, and fly. Right? So when Mick and I were talking one time, and he was just like, I want to fly, I'm really I said, well, then I'm like, okay, a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, hey, if I put the multiplayer on, why don't you just jump in and join me? And you could just fly together. And at first it worked, right? He joined me on a few flights, and it was fun, right? It was fun. But I can't. It's unfair for me to say, like if Mick doesn't join me, if I get mad at him and say, well, that's not fair to me. I opened this so that you could join. That's not fair for me to talk to put that expectation on him. He's his own person. He has a family. He has things that he has to do. Sometimes he has the honey-do list that takes it, like, hey, I would like to, but the wife has other plans. Things like that. Is it disappointing? Yes. So, like, I can tell you, like, if I see Mick flying behind me, and he didn't tell me he was joining, but he just popped on in, I'm grinning ear to ear because I'm like, that's my friend, right? But if I make that demand to him, that's not fair to him, or I'm being unfair to him. To say, well, but you have to do this. I'm doing this for you. That's not right. Right? That makes me insecure about myself because I'm not getting, like, I'm taking advantage of his friendship. And before I forget, Rusty Cages, thank you for the follow yesterday. Thank you for that. I saw that and I meant to say it before we really got in depth. But it's difficult, but we have to be able to be comfortable with ourselves. It's nice when we have friends that can join, whether it's on flight sim or whatever. There's times where you have to say, I have to be comfortable with myself. I have to do. You have to be willing to find a place that, or yes, eventually you have to find a place. You have to find a way to get by doing things on your own. It's tough. It's not easy. Because you want to have that interaction, somebody else's voice in the chat, right? Like when I'm on the farm with Nick and other people, it's all fun because we're talking about farming, we're telling jokes and giving each other grief about some, silly stuff, and but it's but that's not all. It's not fair for that to be a daily thing. It's fun for the time that we have it, if we're on the farm 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, because it goes fast, right? But I can't expect that from him, right? Or he can't. It's about being comfortable with ourselves and each other enough. Like if he said, "Hey, do you want to farm today?" And he knows I can't. But if he messaged me out of the blue and said, "Hey, you want to do farm?" I can't because I got to be at the hospital right about the time that we want to go live to get some tests done for the surgery coming up. Right? Oh, okay. So it's. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. It's just so. I think the person that I'm trying to get the message across to is not here because somebody else is streaming. He's more interested in what that other person is doing. Anyway, yeah, we just gotta be comfortable. And I'm guilty of it. There's been times where I'm like, man, I'm secretly hoping. I'm like. For instance, but I also know that's not reasonable for me to expect that from him. I have to be okay with the fact that he might not join. He might not even come to the chat today. You never know. He might not even come into the chat today. He may have other things going on. Like I hope that Scruffy. I know he's got things going on, and I like to see him in the chat. But if not, it's okay. I don't know. It's just it's weighed on me, and I feel like it's. I hate the sense of desperation from another person when they want others to join them on a stream or whatever. And it's just like, well, you can't. It's not fair to them. It really isn't. But it's lost. I think I hate to say this, but we're at a generational point now. And I don't know what the age kind of cutoff would be, but we're at a point now where many people across the world of a certain age group they're incapable. Their social skills have seriously deteriorated. Certainly because of the pandemic, that didn't help. But that sense of self, of caring about themselves and all that is lost. And so it's like some people it seems have regressed emotionally. I know I'm getting very deep here, but I don't know any other way to put it. So when people aren't able to cope with that inability to to get by, or to love themselves enough to say, I can do things. I don't always need other people. I don't know. I just, like I said, some people are going to get this message, and other people, it's gonna go right over. But I wanted to talk about this, but I figured I didn't know how long really I was going to talk about it. I was trying to figure out what I was going to say and how I was going to say it, but we're going to ride all the way up to San Francisco from San Jose. We'll conclude the stream once we get there. If anybody wants to say anything, like I see people lurking, right? If you're lurking, just say hi. I'm scared. Nothing gonna happen. No, this might not be the most exciting thing, but I just figured at least we have some mobility. We're just kind of cruising along here, and we're coming up from the South Bay, San Francisco. We're on the way to San Francisco. I think our next stop is going to be Mountain View. I remember. It did kind of say what the stops were along the way. Well, we're going to end up in San Francisco, and we'll wrap. I don't want to say wrap things up, because apparently that's been co-opted by somebody else. We'll conclude the stream once we get there. So, this is Sunnyvale. Next stop. So, yeah, if you want to say hello to in the chat. We're just going to have a nice little ride up the Peninsula Corridor here. Should be some. I'm pretty positive it is. Let's see the signs right there. Nope, that's Lawrence. Lawrence what? Oh, it is Sunnyvale. Never mind. Lawrence of Arabia? Some people might get that reference. Other people are going to be like, what's he talking about? I know. Well, there he is. Mr. Joseph Adams. Oh, Joseph. Young man. Sometimes you just, well, you know what? It's okay. Alright, I'm gonna drink some water and I'm gonna have me a little snack. Yeah, I see that you're here. I see that now. Are you sure you're here? Or are you doing your usual bouncing, your stream bounces? I know Jason's live. Joe's about to go live at some point here, probably later. Once Jason's done, Joe will go live. Well, I'm fine, Joseph. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, because apparently while I was watching the Scruffy stream last night, I really wasn't paying attention outside, but we got a little bit of snow, and it was enough that the plow trucks were up and down the road throughout the rest of the evening and throughout the night, and I was trying to sleep, and so I'm okay. How are you? There he did. There he is. He came in. Poof. It's like he's gone again. It's like, psh, magic. It's like a little ninja smoke bomb came out of nowhere. Security in the chat. Well, I also have some other unfortunate news, and I didn't want to say anything right away because I didn't, you know, when you hear some bad news from family, it's not so great news. I want to say, I'll just put it. Anyway, when you hear news, sometimes you want to share things with people. And other times it's like I always think it's best to wait before you say anything because sometimes we tend to over dramatize things and it turns out that maybe we got no snow yet but it's cold outside. Okay. Well, we got snow here, so I'm sure it'll make its way there, Joseph. Last week, about a day or so after my accident where I shattered my humerus bone above my right elbow. My stepdad, turns out, and when they took him to the hospital, he had a stroke. Now I'm devastated for my mom because no, he's okay. He's still in the hospital. They're monitoring him and stuff. But my stepdad has always been the most phenomenal person for my mom. And I told him that one year, when it was their anniversary. When I got them a card for their anniversary, I said, "Thank you for loving my mom." Right? My mom is devastated because she talked to the neurologist yesterday, and basically the neurologist said it's very likely that he'll never regain the ability to speak, which is very difficult for my mom to hear because she's used to, talking with my stepdad. She's used to hearing his voice. And, they've been married for quite some time. My mom got remarried, which was great for her, and he's a terrific guy. I know there's been many times that I needed some advice, and it was like, I'm not going to call my dad for that advice. And, like the other day, she had to go home for a while. She can't stay overnight at the hospital. It's not really set up for that. And so he squeezed her hand and put her hand, his left hand is the good hand, and put her hand on his heart, which my mom was like, that was his way of saying I love you. And because he can't talk, she's leaving and he's got tears running down his face because he can't tell her those things. It's very hard. And I talked to my mom yesterday, and she was there at the hospital with him, and she said, he's awake. She had the football game on. I think it was the Bills and Bengals or whatever. I think it was that. But she said, I'm going to put the 49er game on before I step out for the day or for the evening or whatever. And so she put the phone, and I talked to him, and he tried to respond. He wasn't coherent, but he tried, and she said that's amazing. That's the first time we tried that, and that he actually tried to speak. But anyway, so that's the unfortunate other situation that we're dealing with. What my so the hard part though is my my folks were supposed to go to Indianapolis this year for the Indy 500. My mom was all excited. She got this huge trip all planned. It's an all-inclusive package. You know, you get to the airport, they pick you up, they take you to the hotel. There's a shuttle that'll take you from the hotel to the track. They got this nice suite there at the track that has, you know, it's all air conditioned, and they got the food, and they got the drinks, and they got the bathrooms. You don't have to wait in line for nothing, right? And so my mom, she hasn't talked to the travel agent yet, but she doesn't know if she can get a refund or not. But if on the off chance that she cannot, I may go to the Indy 500 with her this year. I don't know. It's not. She said, I'm not making any promises, but if we can work it out. Would you like to go? And I'm like, yeah. I said, well, I prefer that you get the refund, but if there's no way that you can do it, if they won't allow it, let's do this. So I may be going to Indy 500 this year, but I'm not sure yet. It's still a lot of stuff to work out. And, oh, there's the ads are playing. But yeah, that's the tragedy of you know, that's the unfortunate part, and I feel bad for my mom, you know. Because there's no way he can make that trip now. Absolutely no way. So I guess what I was trying to say earlier, like I said, it's going to go over some heads. You know, whether well, words are important, especially words of okay, there you go. You know, words of love and in many ways respect and all that kind of stuff. You know, when you don't like I would give almost anything just to hear my grandfather talk. Now that's not very realistic, but you know, uh, I think anybody who's lost a loved one at some point in their life, somebody that they talk to on a regular basis, when they don't hear their words anymore, it does have an impact on you. But what we also tend to do, I think, is we focus so much on the ones that are gone, we forget about the ones that are still around. We don't always tell people that are still here and still part of our lives that we love. You know? My buddy in Vegas and we got a big old debate last night. We usually do sometimes. I said, you know what? I said, I still love you. You're still my brother from another mother. I said, we may disagree, but that's okay. You know? Now, he didn't quite know how to take that, but that's okay. I didn't expect him to reciprocate it. But it was important for me to say, hey, you know, we can disagree, but we're we're close. We literally feel like brothers from other mothers. You know, we're from very two different parts of the country. But I would still give him off the shirt off my back. Probably not this one though, because I've been in it for a week now, just about. But on average, I would totally, hey, if there's anything I can do and I can, I'd definitely do it for him. You know, but there's no shame in telling somebody you love them either, and it doesn't have to be romantic. But again, not everybody's going to accept that. Isn't that right, Joseph? If you're still here lurking, probably eating your Lord knows what you're having for lunch right now. But anyway, so I think what we can do, well, we're going to take this whole ride because I said we would. Yep, that's right. Yeah. That you're stuffing your face with your lunch now? Or that you don't always accept that other people love you? Or both? Let's see where we get, what kind of answer we get from this. So I figured, whenever I do a stream, we'll just do something like this. We'll have a little ride on train symbol 3. I it's I tried operating some of the trains yesterday. It's a little bit difficult because I can't, like uh, the right thumbstick controls the up and down, left and right of this part of the camera, but I can't. That's a little bit touchy for me to try to do that. But I don't want to overdo anything. I'm just going to have you're going to have Chris for lunch. Okay. Joseph, you know what would happen right now if Bex was in the chat? Well, not that Bex is one of my moderators, but if she was, you know what would happen right now? You're really cruising for a bruising there, young man. All you fancy is crisps for lunch. Joseph, that is not healthy. But you know what? Hey, I'm not gonna say nothing. You do you. I'm not gonna try to reason with you or anything. If that's what you want, more power to you, brother. Looking for self-love. If that's love in your eyes, is eating a bag of crisps for lunch. Joseph. Let me guess. Your mom was prepared to make you all kinds of stuff for lunch today, huh? Probably could have a sandwich or something. She was prepared to make you something really good for lunch. And you're just, nah, I can't be bothered. I just want the crisps. Oh, oh, I forgot. This is Palo Alto, my favorite station. yeah, if you haven't figured it out by now, this is what I would call my home route. That's a great thing about Train Sim World 2 and now 3. There was plenty of places where it's close enough to where a lot of people live that they call it their home route. This is certainly my home route. I've been on this train. I've been up and down this line before. Used to take it up to the city to go to San Francisco Giants baseball games. So, anyways, guess what happened to, let me guess. Amela crashed. Amela was speeding and crashed. Amela crashed and then sped. All the above. I did not know Amela, was Amela streaming trucking sim, or did Amela join somebody else's trucking sim stream or something? I don't know. If Amela had streamed it, I missed that. Well, I know. I'm just sitting here, just enjoying the scenery on the home route. Got a little philosophical earlier. He crashed and tipped over. Oh my goodness! The humanity. Are you on Matson? Hello, Planet Neutral. You know, well, this sim is not as in depth, of course, as Flight Sim is, but you know, it would be interesting if they had like a, whatever route you were on, you had like train dispatcher communication kind of stuff. That would be cool. Or, if it's somebody who would dispatch the trains. That would be interesting. But it's not, there's not enough there to, I don't know. But that's a, that's a good one. But yeah, I just figured this would be a nice little thing to do today. Just ride on the Peninsula Corridor. And, because it is, when you want to talk, it is difficult sometimes to try to focus on, it's very vibey. Well, so this version, Train Sim World 3, does have a dynamic weather. So when we left San Jose, and we're on our way to San Francisco, it does have it was sunny, and then it got a little foggy, and now the rain, and then it may go back to fog eventually, and it may get the sun again. But yeah, it's not as in depth as the what they really could do. And I'm half tempted to, not that I'm a big fan of Dovetail games, they're still on my naughty list. But I would definitely be willing to go and ride the whole line from San Francisco to San Jose and back, film all the buildings, get all the video around the stations and everything, and say, redo this whole thing. Because there have been a lot of changes to since they made this version of the route. It is way different now. But they probably tell me to count bricks and all that. But, there are parts where it's close enough that I can kind of say, yep, I know exactly where this is, I know exactly where I am. Like, Palo Alto, the station it's not 100% spot on, but it's enough where the way that things are laid out, I know exactly which way to face towards Stanford University, and of course the other way you face is into downtown Palo Alto there. That has some fancy kind of, well, it used to. I didn't, when I was there last time I was in the Bay Area, I should have stopped off in Palo Alto. I just kind of got, but they used to have like a Borders Books and Music there that was in an old movie theater, that it was the coolest place. And of course that's all, it went out of business, and I don't know what's there now, but yeah. So there are a lot of little restaurants, little boutique shops, and stuff like that. I just figured this would be a nice chill thing to do on a Monday, a low stress. You know, just sit back and relax. And this is the seat I'm actually in. This way, yeah. Maybe we don't want to be outside in the rain. So this is your luggage kind of area. You can throw your a lot of business people put their briefcases up there and whatnot. And there is a bike storage area. Now I'm not in the one car for that. That's up in front is the bike storage. Yeah, a lot of people ride their bikes and then climb up in their seats for the trip up to the city. Yeah. Figure this would just be something different to do today. So, and we will conclude. We won't wrap things up. We will conclude the stream once we get to San Francisco. I have to be careful what I say because somebody might try to steal my words. Should be Redwood City. Do I see the sign? I think I do. There it is, the famous Redwood City sign. That is actually round about right where it is, right there. I am coping. It's been a challenge. I've been trying to formulate a plan to at least try to wash up a little bit before I go to the hospital today for the pre-surgery testing. I have a couple of ideas I'm going to try to do at least so I don't feel like a complete nasty ass today. So, yeah, I'm coping. It's not easy. It hasn't been, but it's, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to cope with the idea that my right arm isn't going to be 100%, after the surgery. It's definitely not 100% now. It's like completely immobilized. But, yeah, it's just difficult. So juggling it, yep, yeah, unfortunately. Well, I guess I could do one-handed, but yeah. Yeah, so I've because I'm right-hand dominant, as I was telling my mom last night on the phone, I said the difficult part is if something falls, like if I reach for my phone, right, and I go to pick up my phone and it slips, my immediate response is to try to reach over with my right arm. And as soon as I try to make that movement, the pain shoots up, and I'm just like, okay. So yeah, because you got so used to doing things a certain way. So it's like I have to learn how to, it's going to be a whole nother learning process after the surgery. I don't, hopefully it goes well enough that the recovery period is reasonable and that I have, I can have some kind of a plan as far as, physical therapy, things that I can do to at least keep some strength in my arm. I'm going to have to get one of those little squeezy balls, I think, just to maintain some mobility in my hand. So yeah. Hey, Infidel Farmer. Hello. Good morning. How are you? I meant to say goodnight in Scruffy's stream last night. I apologize for my rudeness. I did take a Tylenol to kind of help ease, take a little bit of the edge off the pain. and I kind of fell asleep here, and so I didn't mean to disappear without saying goodnight last night in Scruffy's stream. That was some awesome flying, some really neat scenery. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's always nice, people are very uh, genuine in the stream and very, and I try, the hard part is, I like to say hello in people's stream, but I don't, I feel kind of like I don't want to be like a center of attention either, you know. But yeah, I did enjoy watching you guys fly last night. So yeah, I wish I felt bad. Oh, the other morning, did you see? Uh, do a flight with me? Well, Mick, uh, if you want, um, where are we at? Station. Where's my station? I don't remember all the names all the time. There it is. San Carlos. Okay. Well, I've got some time once we wrap. Oop, wow, how did I end up over here? I've got some time after I conclude the stream here. Once we get up to San Francisco, um, we can try. I can get on Discord and we can talk and I can work work some work things through with you if you want, or we can do that Wednesday since we're technically going to be farming on Tuesday. Oh, we are Joseph and his Joseph telling me to take it easy is like the pot calling the kettle black. Joseph, I'm fine. Yeah, farming tomorrow. So if you guys want to hear or watch us, you know, trust me, Joseph, I'm old enough to know if I am overwhelmed, I I I will not offer. Oh, of course you are, Joseph. You've been chomping at the bit. You've been yes, exactly. I know my limits. That's the funny thing. I know my limits. That if it and just because what Mick is saying, Joseph, isn't that I'm going to fly. I'm not going to be flying in a plane. It's just that he's going to fly, and I'm going to just be talking to him while he's flying. Okay, that's all. That's all that means. So don't don't get yourself all worked up in a fuzzy tizzy, whatever you want to call it, Joseph. I'm, I've been alive on this. I've been on this planet for a lot longer than you. I think I can handle things. But I appreciate your concern. But anyway, um, so, yeah, we can do that after after we get to after I get all the way up to San Francisco, or if you got time today, Mick, or if you want to do it Wednesday, since I don't have anything really that much going on Wednesday. We could do that Wednesday morning for me, which would be, you know, lunchtime for you, around about lunchtime, we can do it then. Uh, you just let me know. You just let me know. If you want to stream it, we can stream it. Or if you don't want to, whichever works for you. It's up to you. You let me know what you need, and I will take Joseph to the tail of the plane and let him be the wind vane. And he can also check he can tell us the temperature outside. Is it really cold, Joseph? Yeah. Okay, that's what we thought. Kidding. I'm kidding, Joseph. So yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Oh, yes. Yes. That is true. That is true. I did vote for it. But, you're my brother across the pond, and I would like to fly with. Well, not. I can't fly with you technically, but I can be in the voice chat with you, and we can have another laugh. And, it'll just be the two of us and talking, and Addies will have his little giggle fits, and but yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm there. Oh, Joseph, you don't know how badly I wish Bex was here right now in this chat. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, we'll do that, Mick. Absolutely. We got it. We got a twofer this weekend or this week. We got tomorrow. We're gonna be on the farm, and then I guess Wednesday we'll do the. Well, yeah, that's there. Well, no, they didn't. I'm trying to think how there wasn't. It wasn't technically they when Captain Arash and Allison did the um, Amelia Earhart flight stuff. It technically because they both had the same plane, and so what they would do is Captain Arash's plane would be kind of just sitting right within Allison's plane, right? So it almost looked like they were one plane in the same, you know. Even though, but anyway, uh, so like in theory, when like Allison would have to step away for a moment, and she'd say, you have the controls," and he'd say, "I'd have the controls," and all. So it was kind of virtual, but yeah, I don't. That's the one thing that I think that may be a bit too much for the sim to deal with. You know, if we were in the same location, we could probably do that. Like if you had like a home flight deck set up, like say almost some something kind of close to an A320, and you would have pilot duties and co-pilot duties. You could do it probably that way, but virtually it's I don't think that the sim can handle something like that. At least not yet. Maybe in the future they could, but not quite there yet, I don't think. But kind of like what when Captain Arish's dad, who worked for Airbus for many years, did. He just kind of read off the checklist, but I know we don't have a printed checklist and all that, but that's okay. I'll still be there in voice. It'd be nice if it was an easier thing to do, but that's okay. So let me ask you this, Mick. Which plane are you planning on flying for this flight? I should probably at least have an idea what I'm getting myself into. And where are you what are you flying and where are we flying to? Yes. If you have any idea, or if you want, if you're still figuring that out, that's okay. I see a broken fence over here. Nope. I see. Never mind. So the cool thing about this, for those of you who do not know, so on the routes on Train Sim, well, this was a train, the was it Train Sim 2020 or something? That became Train Sim World 2. Now it's Train Sim World 3. They're what they call route tasks. So you have to put up like route maps, uh, fix broken lights, and some of the routes have broken station lights or whatever. Broken fences, or A320 not sure where to fly to, just would like to get the landing zone. Okay, so I'm guessing where are we taking off from? And about how long would you like the flight to be? But yeah, you get an achievement if you find all the collect up all the route tasks. You get an achievement for that. So I'm guessing maybe out of Heathrow or London Gatwick or something would be our departure airport. We could go to well, how long would you like to fly for? I guess is a good question. I don't know if you have a time frame or anything. Of having the maiden livery on in each city, then they're touring to. Oh, so our first stop would be wherever they're. So that's in the. Wait, is there an A320 Iron Maiden livery? Oh. Oh, San Mateo. Um, so it'd be maybe somewhere in Europe then. Or or at least try to land as close to wherever they're, yeah, gonna be playing at. So I'm sure there's gotta be plenty of places in Germany and France, maybe Austria. Huh. Mm, okay, well, at least that'll be interesting. Okay. Oh, first take off from Heathrow to Slovenia. Well, while we're while we're cruising along here, let's see. Let me see if I can figure out roughly what would the airport be in Slovenia. Low. Okay, there's two airports in Slovenia. There is Gradec and Slovensky. I don't even know how to pronounce. Come on, that's what I wanted. Stop. No charts are available on Navigraph for either of those. Oh, well, for one of them. LGSK. No charts available. Information. Longest runway is 2,500 feet. Nope, we don't want to land there. Okay. Okay. So Sloven Gradec is got a 3,900 foot runway. We'll probably land at the A320 on there. Was thinking of doing a flight around the coast of the UK in a Cessna. Well, go for it. Hmm. I mean that. I don't know how long it would take you to do the whole coast. Yeah, Slovenia. On Navigraph, there's no charts available, so they look like they're very small airports. There's runway 14 and runway 32. They're almost 4,000 feet in length. So you could that's going to be a very tight landing, Nick, for that one. That's going to be a bit. You're going to have to. And I'm willing to bet it does not have like ILS approaches and all the other good stuff. Because there's no charts in Navigraph for it. That is yeah, it would be slow. Well, Slovenia sounds interesting, but that is going to be a bit of a challenging landing, I think. Yeah, because it's definitely going to be manually flown. Probably at a certain point, you're going to have to land it manually. You're not going to be able to like use the RLS approach or anything like that. The Death Star will not engage the tractor beam and bring you on in. But if that's what you want to do on Wednesday, we can certainly go for it. We could give it a go. You know, if you want to do that, or if you just say, well, we could go from Heathrow to, I don't know, somewhere in Austria or something. You know, but it's up to you. Yeah, looks like we're in Millbrae. Yes, we are. We got the BART tracks, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, which was finally brought down here. BART goes from here over to the airport, San Francisco International. Although you can't really, it's not modeled in, whatever. But, yeah, we're in Millbrae. This is like a hub train station. So some people may take this train to here, and then they could hop on the BART train and go to the airport, or they can take the BART train from here and go up into other parts of the city that this train may not get them to. Need to get advice with parts of flying first from you, and then put it on stream so I don't mess up too much. Well, come on, Mick. You know I mess up, even though but yeah, we can talk about it afterwards if you want to hop. We could hop into Discord, just have a voice chat, and we could talk about it so I get a better idea of what I can do to help you. You know. What exactly do you need advice about, and then I can help you figure out some stuff.
The doors are about to close.
There goes a jet taking off from. Oh, one flying over us. Oh, there's one taking off right now. Look at that. Cool. But yeah, whatever I can do to help out, glad to do it. I think the biggest key, what I learned, is just practicing. In some cases, we can because I'm on yoke and throttle and pedals. I have buttons set up, but need to find out if I need to bind anymore. Oh. Okay. Hmm. Well, I did download, well, I didn't download it, but I have the website that had like all the keyboard commands. Oh, let me find this real quick. Just pull that open. And then you can this one. Hopefully this works, but you can look at this list. Hey, no, I'm not trying to. I'm not flying anything, Joseph. I'm, I'm thinking, and I'm not driving the train. I'm a passenger. I'm not. This is my seat right here. I'm on the train. I'm on as a passenger. No, hey, hey, good morning, Scruff. Nice to see you as well. Really enjoyed your flying last night. Um, so yeah, try that, Mick. Just to, that's like all the list of the keyboard commands, but you could look and see if all those, like if you're, oh, thank you for the resub, Scruff. Appreciate that. Scruffy Tam is an absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, he's an amazing guy. If you're having one of those down days, I promise you, you go into Scruffy's stream, you're gonna be laughing, you're gonna learn something. He's got the blinking lights. He's got some lights now on behind him that you can tell it to change the color of the lights. He's got the fart commands. He's got the toilet flush. I'm telling you, if it's a great time if you just want to sit back and have a laugh. Scruffy is the person that will bring a smile to your face, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's the low, low price of free. You will not be disappointed for the low, low price of free. Go check out Scruffy Tam. I'm telling you, you will have an amazing time in his stream. You'll be entertained. You'll be educated. It gets a little philosophical like I do sometimes, which I love. Go give him a follow. And if you follow him, go spend some time in his stream. Please. You won't be disappointed. You're welcome. He's an awesome person. And he loves people. So, yeah. Fantastic guy. Fantastic guy. You will not be sorry. Go hang out in his chat and watch him for a bit. You can just lurk. You know? Joseph, you don't know how many times lately I played the fart sound. I flushed the toilet. I asked Scruffy to show me his socks. He shows me his socks. It's great fun. It doesn't get naughty in the chat, but we have a laugh. As they used to say, it's good, clean fun. So yeah, good, clean fun. There you go. But yeah, Nick, if you check that out, that's got all the key commands. Oh, you can. I don't know if you can print that out or whatever you want to do, just so that you have it handy. Um, you know, but that's a good resource, at least for the keyboard commands. As far as the yoke and throttle and all that, well, I think you've got that pretty much covered. So as long as you have all the basics covered with that, then I think you're okay. Should be okay. So, so I think we stopped here in South San Francisco, and then it should be a straight shot right into the city from here, I think. Might be able to, no, maybe not. Sometimes you can make out the South San Francisco sign up on the hillside, but GP38 just wasting fuel. Somebody pretending to be hard at work with the engine running. So yeah, there's that, and then so I think that would be a good step, at least to make sure all those buttons work. Now for my keyboard, I only use the B command for the. Anybody actually in there? No, it doesn't look like it. No. Okay, sounds like a plan, Nick. Sounds like a plan. Ah! No! I wanted to shut the... No! Oh, darn it. I didn't move fast enough. Oh well. I got me before I could hit the button. Turn the engine on. That's the only thing I could think of that might help. That should get us started there. I'll keep that open so that if there's any issues or whatever, I can scan the lists or whatever. Well, that's a bit weird that I can't get any charts for Slovenia. None of the well, actually, I guess that would be about par for the course, because not every part of the world has a wants people to know how the airports are laid out for whatever reasons. Guessing the pilots that fly in and out of there already kind of know what to expect for those airports. So yeah, tomorrow, I don't know what time exactly yet, but we'll be on the farm with Mick, joining him on his stream on his farm, and then I guess Wednesday we're gonna fly. I won't be flying. I will not be flying, but I will be co-piloting with Mick somewhere in the world. And there we go. Looking forward to that. And then before I know it, I will be under the knife, getting my right elbow opened up. Yay, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? we'll go from there. Hopefully, I'll be back to flying soon. Oh, I was jonesing to get in the F-14 last night, Scruff, and buzz by you in the F-14, but I'm like, I don't want to chance it. Yeah, it's oh, the ads are forthcoming. Ad alert, ad alert. Beep, beep. Ad alert, ad alert. Yeah, but the A320 should be very simple. If it's the Asobo one, now I've never been in the Phoenix A320, but I'm guessing it's very similar. So but yeah, that should be very simple. Are we stopping off at Bayshore? I don't remember us stopping here, but I guess we are. I thought South San Francisco was the last stop. And then, oh well. There we go. Old Candlestick Park used to be way over that away. It has been finally demolished. No longer exists. The stadium where San Francisco 49ers and the San Francisco Giants played for many years. Got to see them both play there multiple times. More so the Giants than the Niners, but yeah, gone. Okay. Go for it, Scruff. Good luck. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully they fix that tooth that hurts for you, and so good stuff. So Joe just went live. Yeah. That's awesome though that they're wanting you to get you there to so you can be oh, oh, I didn't realize this, but you get a founder badge also. Scruff, well, thank you. Scruffy is also a founding member of the Uncle B Sim channel. So that makes Amilla, Scruffy, and Mick are my founding members of the Uncle B Sim channel. Mick was the first, and I think Patrice was second, although I haven't seen Patrice in quite a long time. Para was one of them. I haven't seen Para in ages. It might not be his cup of tea anymore. I don't know. And yeah, Ramella. Yeah, there we go. I think somebody else is too. Who else was on Prime Sub? Yeah, there we go. I just looked at that and realized that. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to the followers. Everybody's support is greatly appreciated. You cannot be a subscriber. It's okay. It's not required to be here. Anybody's more than welcome to hang out anytime they want. thank you for those who have gifted subs to viewers. Appreciate it. Your support is greatly, generosity is greatly appreciated. We're getting there. We'll be in San Francisco in a moment. Oh, no, it got dark. And we'll wrap things up. Try to be back again around about the same time next week. I'm going to try to keep it on the same day if possible. Yeah. So we'll do something like this and have some fun and relax and have a couple laughs, and I don't know. Maybe we'll do a different route. I don't want to keep doing the same one, but maybe we'll do a trip in Germany or something. We'll get on the ice train. Just kick back and relax. Oh, why is this thing rocking? Trains are rocking, don't bother knocking. I think it's slowing down. But yeah, we'll just do a little. We'll take a train ride and have some just kind of relax. Try to do those on Mondays, just so it's a nice, relaxing start of the week. And talk. Have story time, I suppose. All kinds of good stuff. So, join us if you wish. If not, it's perfectly okay. Alright, there's 22nd Avenue. Are we stopping here? Feels like we're slowing down. We're going to stop here. For many years, many years, this station right here was one of the dodgiest on this line. It was terrible. Like, you had basically, it was like it was barely what you see here. It was just really ratty. Like, it was bad. I would feel uncomfortable if it was like, towards nighttime. I would not want to get off at this station. It was that unsafe. But it has improved dramatically. But oh, it was terrible for quite a long time. All right, we got one more stop to go. Or our next stop is our final stop. I'm going to show you the map. So this is where we are. We're gonna end up right there, right at the top of the map. That's where our final destination is, there in San Francisco. Once we could ride through the tunnel. That's okay. And we'll be done for the day. Do appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out. Thank you for the chats. Thank you, Joseph, for you being you. Eat something more than a bag of crisps. Well, no. That's all you want to eat. Try to eat something. You have to have your energy ready for tomorrow. We got a lot of work to do on the farm. Can't be slacking off. will be able to see. Not, it won't be 100% clear. It'll be a bit fuzzy. And once we pull into the station, I don't even know where or which. Let's see how it looks when we get into that. Somebody just said something on Discord. There it is. All right. Now, there used to be somewhere over on this side. I don't know if it's still there. There used to be like a outdoor golf driving range was over in this somewhere on this side. Somewhere. I don't remember where exactly. I do remember one being there. It may have gone out of business and sold the land for other uses or whatever. But there used to be one over there somewhere. It was very nice too. I think it was like one of those. You had a bottom tier, and then you could go upstairs and hit golf balls from up there. Something like that, I think. It was really nice. So, anyways, yeah, I might be able to see. Go all the way to the right there. Yeah, looks like we are. We're going to continue to go to the right. We might be able to catch just a little bit of a glimpse of Bell Park. I know they call it something else now, but it will always be Bell to me. Can't convince me otherwise. Does anybody depart? Yeah, might be. As we get a little bit closer, you might be able to see just the out. Right up there, right where the white dot is. Up. There. Oh. Alright, so yeah, you could barely make out the stadium there. You can see the lights up at the top there, but Bell Park is just not very far from this train station here. So, there we go. Alright. Get on my seat here. And oops. There we are. Welcome to San Francisco. Yep. Left the room. It's difficult to control this thing with one hand. Anyway, so yeah, there's the train station there. Pretty cool little place. Not much to it, but yeah. We can't, unfortunately, we can't walk in there, go through the doors, or try to. There's like a invisible wall. Yeah. So, there we are. Well, that will do it for today, folks. I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. And hopefully you enjoyed the little train ride. Hopefully you enjoyed the talk. This will go up over on YouTube here for tomorrow. Just so that you have something to watch. I'll probably do that. I'll get it to play at about, I guess we can do it at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And since I won't be streaming, so yeah, just be a quick, couple hours, and you can rewatch everything if you missed it. If not, that's quite all right. But anyway, so there we go. Thank you all once again for being here. Do enjoy the rest of your Monday morning, afternoon, evening, early Tuesday for some folks somewhere in the world. I have been your host and train passenger, Uncle B. Until next time, peace, live long and prosper.